does not deserve what's been happening to her. This is super sad, y'all, because no child should ever experience such a challenging life. Honey Boo Boo remains one of the most sought after celeb kids since people got to know her at a super young age when she graced beauty pageants at Toddlers and Tiaras. And from then on, she's been a household name, creating headlines for the good, the bad, and the ugly. If you've been wondering Honey Boo Boo is currently and what she's been up to, then sit tight and let's get right into it. As always, we'll have to go back to the beginning because it's been quite a while since we talked about Honey Boo Boo, so let's start from the beginning, loves. While most people only familiar with Honey Boo Boo and her go-go juice, what many may not know is how much of a traumatic childhood the poor girl had. Honey Boo Boo is around 18 right now, and her life has taken super serious twists and turns since her days as a star in Toddlers and Tiaras. Honey Boo Boo's real name is Alana Thompson, and she was born in 2005. However, her family setup is a bit complicated, guys. More like a blended family, but with a string of super problematic family backgrounds. Honey Boo Boo's mom, June Shannon, also known as Mama June, has 4 daughters, and each of them have different fathers. Mama June had her firstborn Anna at only 15 years of age, and her life had to take a bit of a pause now that she had to drop out of school to take care of her. Mama June then gave birth to her second daughter Jessica just 2 years after Anna. This is where the story starts getting darker, guys, because Jessica's dad is a convicted felon who was found guilty of trying to do inappropriate things with a minor online. You can already see where this is going. Then there's the third born, Lauren, whose father's whereabouts are not quite known, but rumors have it that he's one Mark McDaniel, and just like Jessica's dad, Mark has also been convicted of inappropriately a child. But it gets worse, y'all. The child in question here is Anna, the firstborn daughter. It goes without saying that by the time Honey Boo Boo was coming on, Mama June's dating history was anything but healthy. Honey Boo Boo's father is one Mark Thompson, who is a pretty decent human being compared to the previous ones. Anyways, fast forward to 2011, Mama June decided to prop up Honey Boo Boo for Toddlers and Tiaras, and very quickly they became the viewers' sweethearts. And this marked the beginning of her celebrity status life. People liked Honey Boo Boo's personality so much, especially because she was super unpredictable and outspoken. Honey Boo Boo was super sassy, and literally everything she said was so quotable. So people had a field day making memes with her clips.
I'm putting on my glasses, so just hold up a sec.
It was actually during the show that the name Honey Boo Boo caught on during the episode, where even the crew could be heard laughing their heads off.
Ella makes me holler, Honey Boo Boo.
However, controversies started clouding Honey Boo Boo's personal, even as her star was shining bright in the show. Like the go-go juice, which some people still talk about to date. Honey Boo Boo's mother would mix Mountain Dew and an energy drink and give it to her daughter to keep her energized throughout the pageant. This did not sit well with a lot of people because the drink had an insane amount of caffeine for a kid.
My go-go juice is kicking in right now.
You guys, Mama June was feeding little Honey Boo Boo a drink that had the same amount of caffeine as 2 cups of coffee, and people weren't happy about it. This explained the crazy energy burst Honey Boo Boo used to have, cause boy, wasn't she all over the place doing the most? Anyways, their likable yet controversial presence on Toddlers and Tiaras gave the show super high views. So TLC said, you know what, this family is interesting and they're likely to bring us an insane amount of money. So what did TLC do? They gave Mama June and Honey Boo Boo their own TV show, and so Here Comes Honey Boo Boo was born. This show attracted millions of viewers, making it one of the most successful TLC shows ever. On the show were Honey Boo Boo, Mama June, Mike, and the other 3 girls, Anna, Jessica, and Lauren. It basically featured their entire family, documenting every day of their lives, pretty much like what YouTube family channels do to their children. People particularly loved season 1 because, well, you know, think of it as just watching your favorite YouTuber's house tour video for the first time. There was something about seeing something for the first time that makes you want to watch more. Maybe it's because you're both curious and intrigued about how they live, and so the views went through the roof. Literally everyone wanted a glimpse of their day-to-day life. There were moments where it could be loud and chaotic, but aren't we all? Even though the show got a lot of praise, some people thought it was too exploitive, and soon enough, the ratings started taking a nosedive. You see, that's the dilemma of literally every single reality show. Once people get familiar with you, they're no longer curious curious to watch because after all, they've seen it all, including under your bed. By 2014, people had literally had enough of the show, and in an attempt to captivate their once upon a time invested crowd, they had to use clout or just do controversial stuff to keep the show appealing. Case in point, there was an episode where Mama June was seen with Lauren and his father Mark, who, if you remember what I had said earlier, was in prison for doing inappropriate to kids, and Anna was actually his Anna was just 8 when it happened. People were super livid when rumors started spreading that Mama June and Mark had gotten back together immediately after he was released from prison after serving time for 10 years. By this time, Mama June had also broken up with Honey Boo Boo's father, and so people were more than convinced that the two had rekindled their relationship. One of the people who just couldn't stomach that, though, was Anna, as she openly expressed being super disappointed that her own mom, who was supposed to protect her, would make up with someone who had earlier put her life in danger.
The 10 years he served in prison, was that because of the allegations you made, or was it because of the allegations someone else?
The allegations I made.
So he went to prison because
of what I said.
Because you said he.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, at some point she even said, "I think me and Mama's relationship may well be over." June took to Facebook where she cleared the air, saying that none of that was true and she would never go back to him, maintaining that her kids were her #1 priority. She said, "I left him 10 years ago for it and I wouldn't go back." Lauren also came forward to defend her mother, saying that even those photos of them together were just Photoshop. Regardless of whether Mama June was willing to admit that she was seeing Mark again, TLC used that saga as the best time to cancel their show and cut ties with the family altogether while they were halfway through filming the 5th season. Here's what TLC had to say. TLC has canceled the series Here Comes Honey Boo Boo and ended all activities around the series effective immediately. Supporting the health and welfare of these remarkable children is our only priority. TLC is faithfully committed to the children's ongoing comfort and well-being. To be really honest, TLC was just protecting the company's best interest because the family had other controversies in the past, but as long as the viewership was up, they never, not once, thought about canceling the show. Not that they should have condoned whatever was going on at Mama June's house. Anna's mental health was a top priority, and even feature such an episode was super problematic. So this was just a case of preaching water and drinking wine on the side of TLC because they enabled it to happen in the first place.
You know, it's Mama's fault. It's her fault. You know, she has to live with it.
Not only did getting back with Mark strain Mama June's relationship with Anna, but things got even worse when Anna filed a lawsuit against her mom, claiming that she had not been paid for multiple episodes she had been featured in on the show. Remember how Anna always had a very shaky relationship with her mother, especially after that evil incident when she was 8. Anna even revealed in an interview that when she brought up the issue to her mother, she never believed her.
Mama didn't believe me for a while, and she's like, "Why would you do that? Why'd you do that to me?" And I can't believe you did that. And I'm like, "Well, Mama, you know, he did it, so, you know, I can't take the past back. And, you know, either you believe me, you don't believe me. It doesn't matter to me." After I told her it happened, she said, "You know, I'm done talking about this now. I'm done with it. I don't want to talk to you no more." And then eventually we just said, "Hey, we need to put this behind us. You know, forget what he did."
She's never told me that she believes me. She's never said, "Hey, Anna, you know, I'm sorry for not believing you," and, you know, or, "Hey, I still don't believe you to this day."
And as if to add salt to Anna's injury, Mama June still kept seeing Mark. And to this day, Anna recalls how her mother was always happy and giggling whenever Mark was around. She added that her mother did not want to believe her because she was super in love with the guy then, and apparently still is, to the point that she'd rather destroy what's left of their already strained relationship with Anna.
And it's like, you know, she's happy. You know, she was smiling and laughing and giggling when he was around, and knowing the fact, you know, he's a child, Mama. He did this to me. Why would you let him come around the girls knowing what he did? And reportedly done it to another girl.
Anna literally has had to move in with her grandmother because her mother chose to side with her boyfriend and not her daughter. Yep, so when this Mark returned to their lives years later, it was clear to Anna where Mama June's loyalty lay. He only reunited with her mother and sister when they were about to start shooting for their TV show. This brings us to the next chapter of their lives. 1 year after the first show ended, Mama June and Mike joined yet another reality show on WeTV, Marriage Boot Camp, in an attempt to save their marriage, which was also on the rocks after Mike cheated on her. Unfortunately for the two, no amount of talks, therapy, or apologies could save the situation, so they eventually split up.
One aspect of our relationship that I feel like we need to work on is communication. and honesty.
And I need to grow up and stop cheating, stop running around, and stop being a baby.
Generally, the family had too much on their plate, especially Honey Boo Boo, who was the youngest. She had literally been thrown into the public eye from a pretty young age, and just like YouTube family channels, once the camera starts rolling, these kids' privacy and personal space are thrown out the window. Other than her personal struggles, her parents' dirty linen was now being aired for the public, for anyone who seemed interested to know, including the very private details of her parents' divorce. In addition, her mother was also struggling with illegal substances at the time. My goodness, what a horrible environment for a kid to grow up in. A couple of years went by, and around 2017, thereabouts, Mama June was finally clean from substance, and things were looking up for her, because she even landed yet another reality show called Mama June From Not to Hot, which basically documented her weight loss journey, covering her strict diet and exercise routine and a life-changing surgery. People were both shocked and impressed at the amazing transformation Mama June underwent after losing 300 pounds. She reportedly spent $70,000 on her journey with her health and body. Unfortunately for Mama June, it looked like the problems kept locating her, because in 2019, when the show was in its third season, Mama June and her then boyfriend Gino were arrested for possession of a controlled substance and paraphernalia after having a fight at a gas station. The fight was so heated that Gino got arrested for being violent towards Mama June. After that incident, the fourth season rebranded from Mama June From Not to Hot to Family Crisis, and then the fifth season was called Mama June Road to Redemption. These last two seasons basically focused on Mama June's attempts to patch things up with her family, since they had undergone some seriously messed up stuff. It was also in these seasons that we finally got to see the extent to which Mama June's children had been affected by her behavior. It turns out her substance problem got so bad that it even cost them their family home, not to mention the damaged relationship between her and her daughters. Honey Boo Boo had to move in with her sister Lauren, who at the time had already had a daughter of her own. Lauren, who is just 19, received temporary custody of Honey Boo Boo, and 3 years later she received full custody. Things were crazy because even when all these were happening, the show was still going on. In fact, at some point it was highlighted on the show that Mama June did not want to pay child support for Honey Boo Boo, and instead just wanted to give her up for adoption so that she doesn't have to pay it.
Would you rather sign your rights over for Alana?
That's what I thought we were doing.
Well, I guess what
To be honest.
I guess what she was asking, you would prefer that they adopt her?
Yes. Like, how could you just be okay with me adopting Alana, all because you don't want to pay child support?
And in case y'all are wondering how much the child support was, she would have to pay Lauren $800 to help raise Honey Boo Boo. Not only that, but Honey Boo Boo was also in a terrible place with her father because he wouldn't call her, and apparently he didn't want her because she was not a boy. And the sad part is that this was even aired as a part of Mama June's family crisis.
I appreciate you wanting to be in my life, Sugar Bear, I really do, but we should just know that I want to sell pumpkin, and that's the end of the conversation. Like, y'all never want to hear what I have to say. Pumpkin, come on. No, don't give her your man. That bitch.
You too, you bitch.
That's why I have custody.
Watching Honey Boo Boo break down like that was super devastating for so many people, especially the ones who had known her from her days on Toddlers and Tiaras, where she was all bubbly and happy. Honey Boo Boo was now a shell of her former self, and her parents had succeeded in making her feel unwanted. Being pushed into fame had really affected her. In Mama June's Road to Redemption, which aired in 2021, Honey Boo Boo confronted her mom on her substance abuse and how it had really affected her, talking about how her mom not being for her there when she needed her the most, particularly on her first day of high school when her mom didn't show up.
It was hard for me not having my mom there, and I had to come home and tell Pumpkin what I'm doing. And yes, I'm very grateful that Pumpkin was there for me, but why wasn't you there? Why wasn't you there in the moments that I needed you most?
She also mentioned how she would be anxious and constantly worried that something bad would happen to her mom whenever she was caught up in the illegal substance maze, and how much she prayed for her mom every night for her to be okay.
You don't know how many nights I cried myself to sleep, just hoping and praying that you don't overdose.
And I mean, I'm lucky I did.
would pray.
Hold on, let her talk.
God, please don't let my mom die. Please, just hold on to her, just please.
Mama June would also later reveal that she had struggled with substance abuse pretty much all her life because they were in her surroundings even as a kid. She even went further to reveal that one of her siblings would sell them, and at some point she even started taking them to help her work long. She said they'd help her work 3 jobs a day from 4 a.m. to midnight, and that she would be able to stand on her feet for all those hours and with just a tiny amount of sleep. Mama June also said that she would use the substance and stop for several years before relapsing again, especially when she was in such a high stress environment. Hold up, guys. Isn't it interesting that Mama June knew the terrible effects of addiction, and yet this was the very same thing she was doing to Honey Boo Boo during her pageant days, where she used to make her drink too much coffee and energy drinks, saying it would keep her strong and on her feet the entire show? Oh my goodness, you guys. These parents would stop at nothing for fame. Alright, moving on. The substance went from bad to worse when she met Gino, who turned out to be yet another wrong choice of partner. Worst of all, Gino was a bad influence on her journey of being clean. It gets crazier, y'all. At first, Gino told Mama June that she had to be completely clean if she wanted to be in a relationship with him, and she followed through for a whole year until both of them decided to start using together. To make matters worse, her children were aware of what was going on, but when her daughter Lauren got pregnant at 17, the couple started to be a lot more low-key with their habits, as they did not want the rest of the family to know the true extent of what was going on and how it affected the kids. Gino and Mama June could only keep the act for so long, and that's why they eventually got arrested at a gas station. Mama June has revealed that she has sometimes spent upwards of $3,000 a day just to keep up with her addiction. You would think that after all of that had happened, Mama June would seek some form of help, right? Well, after their release, Gino and Mama June decided to go back to their old ways, which strained the last bit of money that they had. This was where Mama June had to sell her house, which she did for $100,000 in cash, and get this, she spent the whole amount on buying more substance for her and her boyfriend. When the money was finally finished, they went on to sell anything that they had that would fetch money, whether it was a family member's jewelry, shoes, clothes, kitchenware, or even her own truck. By the time the two were being pushed into rehab, Mama June had spent well over $1 million on substances and strained her relationship with her kids completely. I hate to say this one more time, but guys, it still got worse because the substance had started taking a toll on Mama June's health to the point that she had lost her vision, explaining that she was completely blind in one eye and only had about 5% vision on the other. Fortunately for Mama June, it looks like the TV has always had a spot for her, or producers simply like using her life as content for views, because the show Mama June Road to Redemption was commissioned, where she began talking about her recovery from addiction and her journey being sober. She also says her main focus is now reconnecting with her children and doing her best to restore and heal her relationship with family members that she has hurt in the past. People have had mixed feelings about Mama June's life and parenting, but it is pretty clear that she has been battling her own demons. Someone said it's pretty clear June herself has been going through some immense trauma in her life. No one is having a baby at 14 coming from a healthy, functional environment. I truly wish her self-actualization and healing as well for her family. We're all rooting for Alana. Back to Honey Boo Boo. In August of 2021, she was featured on Teen Vogue, where she spoke about her dreams of becoming a neonatal nurse, going to college, and buying her own car. She also said she wanted to distance herself from the name Honey Boo Boo and that she wanted people to get to know who she really was as Alana. And so we shall respect her demands, and moving forward we'll refer to her as Alana. I genuinely feel bad for kids who are forced into pageants by their parent. I honestly thought Honey Boo Boo would turn into some of these other bratty kids that were exposed to fame early, but she's so sweet and kind and trying to prevent that. We stan Alana. The way Alana and her sister's feelings are disregarded by their mother is so disappointing, because after they were exploited, everything went downhill after their show. Going through that and finding out your mother is getting arrested for dangerous substances is so sad. I feel bad for Alana. She doesn't deserve the treatment her parents gave her. I hope she's feeling well. Now onto the final chapter of this story. Where is Alana? Let's take it back a bit to the time that Alana was staying with Lauren, and she ended up dating a guy called Draylon Carswell, who was significantly older than her because at the time she was just 16, yet he was 20. While some people argued that the age difference wasn't so huge, the truth is that she was still too naive for such a man. Plus, we don't know how far back their relationship went because we only got to know about it when it was announced, and at that the time she was 16. Alana actually talked about Darlin in the Teen Vogue interview, saying that he was her only friend because she doesn't trust other people. That right there is the problem, guys. You see, for a kid Alana's age, it might come off as sweet to have a boyfriend who's literally their world. However, grown-ups can quickly pick this up as a red flag because it's just a romantic way to cover things up like grooming and isolation. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying Draylon is such a boyfriend, but groomers are known to isolate their victims from family and friends by making the victim believe they don't need other people. It also just looked a bit sus when Draylon decided to drop everything he was doing and join Alana when she was leaving for college. Not that he was going to study at the same college as her, no, he was going to keep her safe. I'll be moving off campus for security reasons and because Draylon is coming with me. So Alana will be away from her family and her only company will be this guy. I really hope that it's not what I'm thinking. This is where the relationship starts to raise eyebrows, guys. So allegedly, Draylon was charged with statutory in a previous relationship he was in 2019 when he was 18. The victim in question was a 15-year-old girl, and get this, according to the police report, Draylon climbed through the girl's window. By now, it shouldn't come as a surprise that the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, because literally the whole family have super questionable dating choices. And just to shock you even further, Mama June didn't seem bothered with Alana's relationship. In fact, when asked, she said she's a teenager, she's supposed to have a boyfriend. But people don't think that's for Alana. She's not that little girl anymore. Alana's sister, Lauren, who had adopted her, said she's not getting married, she's not having a kid, she's doing very well in school, and despite their age difference, they're on the same wavelength. In case you're wondering what Alana, who just turned 18, said when she was asked about what she thinks of the public's opinion about her dating life, I don't care, because like at the end of the day, my sister approves, his mom approves, and we're happy. So what fans got to say and what haters got to say, I don't really care. On top of the huge age gap and Draylon's legal issue, he decided to add even more scandals to his name when he was recently involved in a police car chase while Alana was also in the car. In February 2023, Draylon was arrested for driving while under the influence of marijuana, and he had several outstanding warrants. Even after all these, the two are still together, but I'll let y'all be the judge. That's it, guys, for Alana, and we can only hope that she's okay. Anyways, loves, thanks for watching, and keep it here for the latest scoop on these celebrities and influencers.